My life completely changed when my mom started serving her 12 years sentence in federal prison for something she didn't do. But before we go further into that, I'm going to take you back to some pivotal moments in my childhood which really shaped who I am today. And to be quite honest, I don't know that I am grateful for these experiences. I am because when you are made to when you are put in adult situations when you are a child, yes, it helps you as an adult, but it also, in some ways, takes a lot of the joy out of life because you just didn't get a chance to be naive, to be carefree, to just believe in Santa Claus, if you will. Like, I don't think I ever believed in Santa Claus because I knew what life was really about. So, let me give you guys an example. This is something I still think about, so you guys can understand how severe this was in my childhood. It's Halloween. I am spending the weekend at my dad's house with my brother. At this time, my brother still lived with my dad. I lived with my mom. She was completely clean, done with rehab, kicked her addiction. Well, I don't think that's how you say it, but she was not using anymore. So I remember this Halloween like it was yesterday. I don't remember how old I was. I may have been around 12 or 13 at the time. I think it was between 12 and 13. My mom, she did not have a lot of money at this time. She was still rebuilding, took me to CVS to buy my Halloween costume or some things that I could use for Halloween. So, with the money we have, the limited resources we had, I think I bought like some face paint and a couple other things that we could put together. And we were going to just, have a DIY moment and really create a nice costume for me. And the very next day, I went to spend the weekend with my dad. And when I got to my dad's house, he took my brother and I costume shopping and he bought us quote unquote real costumes. A real proper Halloween costume, head to toe, full character, everything that came with the costume, no questions asked. And I was so excited in that moment because I was able to get this amazing costume and I wasn't going to feel embarrassed because I had to just deal with face paint. Now, mind you, I'm still 12 years old. So I'm really excited about this costume until I get back home where it's just me and my mom. Now, my mom, one thing about her, she was extremely happy when anyone did anything nice for us. She never held any type of animosity towards that. She didn't feel bad. She understood that I was able to get something amazing and that was great. But when I walked into the house with my brand new costume and I saw on the table the paint for the face and the bits and baubles we conjured up going through the aisles of CVS, I felt such an immense amount of guilt because for a 12-year-old, I understood that my mom really spent her last dollar to get that costume. Even though she was happy that I came home with a nice new shiny costume, I could look in her face and see the pain that she felt for not being able to provide that for me on her own. Now remember, I was in the trenches with my mom. Like I was going from trap house to trap house with her to get whatever she needed to get her fix. I was also in the trenches with her when I have to go visit her in rehab when she finally decided to go to rehab. So seeing anything other than the look of happiness on my mom's face, even though we were struggling, really bothered me as a child. And coming home with that flashy new Halloween costume made me feel like I was contributing in some way to her little bit of sadness, even though I know I'm overthinking this. I was a child. She was very happy that I got a new costume, but it was just, for me, clearly it's something because I'm still holding on to this as a fully grown adult. And for context, I am the oldest daughter and the oldest granddaughter on both sides. So that's already extremely heavy. And I just felt like I had to be extremely strong, I was sort of walking on eggshells now that I think back on it because I always had the fear of at any moment my mom could be taken away because I'm thinking about her having to go to rehab. And to me, even though I knew it was for her to get better, as a child, it felt like she was being taken away, which ironically enough is why I was able to cope with her prison sentence as well as I was able to because I'd already gone through this. I'd already gone through my mom having to leave me for an extended period of time, me having to visit her in a place with a round table, and all we could do is either play board games, draw on a little piece of paper that they'd give us with a pencil, play cards, get snacks out of the vending machine. That was my life between the ages of, I'm going to say, maybe between 10 and 12. And then for that pattern to repeat itself for me as an adult at the age of, I think, 37 is when my mom went to prison. It just felt like, okay, here we go again. This is just another thing that I have to get through. And my life in Detroit in the 80s and the 90s were just like whatever you've heard, that was my life. Definitely in a lot of the wrong places at the wrong time. God spared me so much, you guys, because I can't even tell you the amount of times I was pew-pewed at because it was that many. Not that anyone was deliberately trying to aim at me, but I was always in the wrong place at the wrong time, and I was always ducking and dodging the things flying through the air. But one of the worst or scariest things that happened during my time period in Detroit when I was in high school is walking into my high school one morning, and as soon as I get in the doors, there are some uniformed men waiting for me on the other side. And they take me into the principal's office and they tell me that I am being investigated for an unaliving. And this was a direct result of me running with the wrong crowds. And as a matter of fact, I did not think I would make it past the age of 23. I thought 23 would be my last year. So much so, when my 23rd birthday rolled around and I looked around and I'm like, oh shit, I'm still alive? I didn't even know what to do. So I'm gonna stop here, take a break, run some errands, and then I'm gonna make a cocktail before I record, because this is where we had to make lemonade out of lemons. And one of the things that I did was when I would go for my prison visits, I would stuff my pockets with things that she could sell. I need you to picture this. I'm fresh off of styling a celebrity for either the Grammys or another huge red carpet leave set, go to the beauty supply store to buy the hoop earrings. You know how you get like 5 or 6 of them on the strip for like 99 cents, hair dye, or whatever it is my mom told me she needed, all to stuff in my pockets for my next prison visit so I can transfer it to my mom for her to have her little business, for which she was making no money, but I think she just needed to feel like she had some sort of purpose. Until that one time when the visit was over and she's about to leave, we both get up to walk towards the front, and y'all, why did one of those packs of dye fall out of her pocket?